Ah. Oh yes, welcome. I am St Germain. There are many of us with you this evening. We welcome you all. We are excited for your journey. We are here today to bring through frequencies of love to transmute fear-based emotions back to love within the Sacral Chakra. This would be known as the second chakra. It is the color orange, the musical note D. And we would say that many of you are processing and transmuting frequencies in the chakra at this time, as it has been one of humiliation and shame and embarrassment and guilt and ownership. We would say these many of you are having difficulty in your third dimension perception of these emotions. These emotions of guilt and shame were readily played in your reality. Also humiliation and embarrassment. Many of you are transmuting frequencies back to love in from past lifetimes of deep humiliation and shame and embarrassment and guilt. And this would be we would say much uncomfortable in your perception. This is bringing up unwanted feelings of those emotions, and many are finding it difficult to, we would say, muster through it or get through it. There have been many blocks in the chakra from being owned. This is in past lifetimes and also in this lifetime, when one says, you are my mother, or this is my child. Are they not claiming ownership to that person? We would say everyone is consciousness. They do not want to be owned. But when you are using the terminology my or mine, or I own, or this is mine, it is an ownership. You are taking ownership, and instantly that person's spirit will be in defense. They will be wanting to be conscious. They are saying, my mother is saying that she owns me, and she is asking me to clean my room, and I do not want to be owned, so I will resist that. It is that they are resisting it due to the fact that they are not wanting to be owned. If you viewed and perceived your children or your husband or your mother or your father not as being owned, but simply by being loved and a part of consciousness, then it would not block the chakra in both of you. Someone would say my child, and the child says my mother. This is a block in both chakras of the sacral chakra in each other. If you would let that ownership go, it is an attachment from an ego perception, and it is an identity, and this is a third dimension game that you are playing. If you were in a fifth dimension game, there would be no ownership, there would be no attachment, and there would be no identity. It is the same as if you said you owned your house. If you had purchased your house and you are now the owner of the house, would the house not be consciousness? Would the house not want to be free? We would say change your terminology so that it doesn't we understand this is difficult. Our channel is saying it is difficult to change the terminology. That is not what we mean in literal sense. In your perception, change the belief system. Yes, change the belief system. I have a house. I purchased a house. I own the house. Change that to this is a house, and it is consciousness, and I will love and respect it as it is consciousness. I will not see it as something separate than myself. I will do this with those I love as well. This would ease up on the control and manipulation and ownership, and unblock the chakra of those with blockages in the sacral chakra. There have been many lifetimes of slavery and servantry. One moment, please. Many lifetimes of being servants and slaves. We would say you have played both roles, and you are clearing and transmuting back to love all the ownership and control and manipulation from those lifetimes. This would come up to play in your reality at this time, but not as harsh. There are many of you clearing being owned from planet Orion. There are deep energies of control from that planet that many of you are processing through at this time on planet Earth. All is well. We would say that we are bringing through transmissions of love and frequencies to transmute fear back to love within the sacral chakra. We recommend eating more orange fruits and vegetables and wearing more orange colors. It is now turning fall in some of your countries, and the leaves behind Terra are turning orange. We would say, are they not most beautiful when they are dying? They do not resist the death. They are not in resistance of letting go. We wish for you to be like the trees, be like the leaves. As you transition from third dimension to fifth dimension, it is a dying process. We would say it would be considered the death of the ego, although the ego is not going to literally die. It is that it will lose its grip. It will no longer run the show. You will be in a fifth dimension perception of love instead of a third dimension perception of fear within the egoic game. You will be in a game of love. This is a dying process. We would say, look at the trees. Do they not look the most beautiful right before they die? We would say they surrender. They do not resist, and they are beautiful. They are not resisting the death. And we would recommend this for you as well. Let go and let God. We would say surrender, let go of any resistance to these ascension symptoms. They will pass. Relax into them. When one is transmuting frequencies through each chakra, it is most uncomfortable in the physical body. Relax into the physical symptom. Relax and be present with it, and see what happens. Blessings. We are with you all. Ah.